Hello and welcome to the second episode of MetaShift, where I'll be breaking down the meta of Week 3 and 4's picks and bans within the NA LCS. I would like to highlight that for this episode, I will be adding on bans as a large portion, as it was a mistake not to include them in the first episode. Also, if the meta is not changed substantially from the first episode, I'm only going to be doing a brief rundown. So without further ado, let's hop into it. Firstly, let's talk about the bans. With the new 10-ban system, we are seeing a lot of different bans for every champion, which is really nice to see. However, as you'll see below, the highest ban champs are generally those who are just overpowered, which isn't exactly meta discussable per se. For example, Camille was banned 42 out of 45 games these past 2 weeks. That's due to the fact that she's just a little broken and needs a little more fine-tuning. Can't really discuss anything more than that. But aside from that, things aren't too bad, so here are the bans. Camille leads the group, of course, followed by LeBlanc and Rengar at 39 out of 45, Ryze at 30 out of 45, Zyra 27, Jace 25, Malzahar at 20. There are a few other notable bans, but we'll talk about them later in the lane breakdown. LeBlanc and Rengar to start are the assassin king and queen of the meta at the moment. They provide insane damage while being versatile in either their mobility or utility around the map. Both of these champions were nerfed in the latest patch, but only Rengar's has a chance to sever his future play. The nerf on his W being changed to only break CC on cast instead of over time, like on Olaf Ultimate, is a substantial nerf. He should still see play, but I wouldn't expect him to be banned nearly as much in my opinion. But that wasn't this week, so the ban hammer is what he got. LeBlanc's damage early was and still is broken. She was considered to be one of the best laning casters in the game, and I would still think she still is. The minor Q damage that they patched is not going to stop her from 100 to 0ing any squishy, and nor will it hinder her competitive play in my opinion, so I would think that she will continue to be banned or played until further nerfs. Ryze has and always will be a favorite on the Rift. His damage output is insane no matter how many times Riot seems to rework him. He has excellent mobility and is capable of taking his teammates wherever he wishes, which can be incredibly important, as we've seen in the LCS, to flank an enemy or sneak in objectives. Look for him to be picked or banned in the next couple of weeks, as I don't exactly see them even nerfing him at all. If so, it'll be something small. Jace is a poke menace. As we all know, his kit allows him to 100 to 0 anyone if both his EQ combos are landed, but even if he just lands one EQ ranged combo, it can synergize with someone like a Jhin ultimate, which becomes way more lethal, as we've seen. He got nerfed in the latest patch, as we also know, but I don't foresee it being too bad on his future play. Mana increase and damage reduction, it's just meh. It might hinder off some ban numbers, but he should be okay. Malzahar and Zyra are the support gods at the moment, which we did talk about last episode. Zyra has insane range capabilities which just flourish in laning phase and has a massive amount of damage and crowd control, whereas Malzahar provides a long-lasting silence and insane suppress which just leaves you crying. That's it for the bans. Let's move on to the lane, starting with the top lane. Top lane is still the tank fiesta as we know it. Maokai and Shen dominated the scene the last 2 weeks, with both being played equal amounts. Nautilus is the only surprise. He dropped off a lot in play, which is, understandable, seeing as how Shen just provides a global ultimate, which is super prevalent if you're looking to always have an edge against your opponent. Rumble rounds out the third most played, which is refreshing finally to see. As I said, I was hoping to see some little more carry laners in the last episode, and finally here is one. I mean, Rumble's been around forever. Since he was released, he's always been a meta top laner, so it's not too surprised that he's being picked. He can always deal with any opponent in laning phase, even the tankiest members he's really strong against, so it was nice to see him being played. Let's move on to the mid lane. Not much has changed since last episode, apart from Corki just raining terror on everybody. His kit allows him to have a safe laning phase while being able to dish out heavy amounts of poke when needed, and burst, and just anything. This guy is perfect. He's a perfect pick. He can farm easy and help others lane with his package. He's super strong and will continue to be so. Ryze and Jace we already touched up on, but expect to always see them played if they're not banned, especially Jace, who can be picked in the mid lane and top lane. Other than that, we have some traditional picks like the Orianna safe pick and some fun flex picks, but nothing else that was too surprising anyways. Let's move on to the jungle. Before we continue on, I would just like to note that I don't know what happened, but my camera changed its lighting effects and it It was getting dark anyways, but I just had to change some things in my room, so if it seems different, I think it's for the better anyways, so whatever. Just thought I'd note. Let's go on. Jungle. Kazakhs. Still dominant. Really annoying. Needs to be fixed. Watching them one-shot champions 24/7 with no counterplay is just boring, especially as a viewer. At first, sure, you're like, holy shit, look at that damage, but now it's just like, you just one-shot her again. I guess that's whatever. Guess they get Baron and win now. Thankfully, however, Graves has entered the scene, and he provides a different, sense of gameplay, and it's really nice to watch, actually. He has one of the best clears in the game while providing insane amounts of damage through the mid to late game. In combination with his tanky passive, it can be quite hard to take him down, thus making him quite self-reliant. Lee, Ivern, and Rek'Sai round out the rest of the picks, with Ivern being the slightly new challenger in the scene. He's kind of like our new. I don't see him being a top-oriented pick right now, but he should be a decent flex pick in the meta. Onto the dull lane we go. We have the ADCs. Overall, nothing has really changed other than Jhin seeing more play than Ashe. If you want to get a rundown, check out my previous episode, as I'm really not bothered to talk about them because it really just upsets me that we have such a dull bot lane for so long. I know Riot's working on fixing the issue, but as being one of the lead esports games, this is just taking too much time in my opinion. Watching these 3 ADCs game after game after game is flat out boring, and I can't wait for some ADC changes. Lastly, we have the supports. As stated before, if Mouse and Zyra are not banned, they will be seeing play. Thresh and Nami are this week's hot flex picks though. Nami provides crazy amounts of utility through slows and speed ups. She's a versatile pick through all stages of the game, and if you can manage to hit a sick bubble, you could easily win your team the fight. Thresh, as most of us know, is an amazing pick for those looking to enter and escape fights with his lantern. His hook might be slower in comparison of that of Blitzcrank's, but the fact that it can be hidden by masking the direction in which it's thrown can leave even the best AD carries susceptible. I could give a similar rant about the supports as I did with the AD carries, it's just they're nowhere on the same scale. Supports at least have insane diversity within their flex picks. Anyways, that wraps up for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I apologize for the slight lighting change that we had. Let me know what you guys think about the video and the current state of the meta in your eyes. Until next time, peace. Which isn't, discussable, doesn't create, some discussion for us. I can't fucking talk. I'm gonna shoot up